Now it's almost the rainy season, and if you're facing a similar problem to mine, here are 4 easy methods for umbrella repair. Here are the tools you're going to need: pliers, a side cutter, round nose pliers, and also brass wire. The first method is spokes. So in our case, all the spokes are intact, in that they are not broken. So that's a good sign. So we're going to go ahead and repair these spokes so that the umbrella opens and closes in an easy fashion. In an umbrella, we have 2 levels of spokes. The higher level, which is this, and holds the smaller spokes. So we're going to go ahead and undo these spokes so that we release them, so that we can start by attaching the longer spokes right at the bottom of the umbrella. So this is done by cutting the wire that links the spokes to that plastic holding. Then you're going to detach every spoke and take out the wire. And then we're going to go ahead into the next process of rebuilding this umbrella spoke after spoke. Cut about 25 centimeters length of brass wire. Then we're going to take this brass wire and start stringing it onto the spokes, the farthest end of the spoke right at the bottom of the umbrella, as shown in the video. Remember, while you're doing this, make sure that the spoke is facing in the right direction, in the upright direction. And if some spokes have come off the threading that holds the spoke to the fabric, then just go ahead and restring that spoke and go ahead and string it onto the brass wire, doing it step by step. And now you want to start pushing the spoke onto the slots in the plastic holder that is attached to the stem of the umbrella. So go one step after the other, holding it with your thumb so that it doesn't come apart, and continue doing so until you get to the last spoke. Remember, do it as slowly as you can. I had to do it several times because they kept falling off. So you have to be very patient in this step. And once you're done with your finger, you're going to slightly twist the 2 wires just to hold the spokes in place. And then you're going to take your pliers and onto the twisted wire and continue twisting. In this case, make sure you don't twist it so much so that you don't break the wire. Remember, just twist it enough so that the spokes are held within the slots and they cannot come off. Just another slight twist, and then we're done. You go ahead then and cut off the long wires with your side cutter. And then with your pliers, you're just going to bend that wire so that it's not sharp. And then after that, we're going to snuggle it into the slot that is provided within this plastic that is attached to the stem of your umbrella. Again, this is just to finish things perfectly. We're going to be as thorough as possible. You see that slot? Just take your pliers and push it up. And then using your pliers also just press it against that. And then again now we're going to repeat the same process onto the top holding of the spokes. After you've strung your wires, you're just going to push them again onto the slots of that central movable spokes holder. Again, we're just repeating the first method, the same process that we attached the longer spokes. Just be as thorough as possible. Do it slowly. Make sure you don't tighten the wire to the point that it reaches its breaking point. And then now we have a movable umbrella that can open and close easily. So just give it a small test run just to see whether everything is smooth as possible and whether you attach it in the right way. And what remains now is to reattach the beads that hold the umbrella on the ends, on the circumference, on the borders of the umbrella. Just going to push those beads into the spokes. When I finished attaching the beads, I realized there was a problem. The umbrella doesn't hold when you open it. And this brings us to a second method of fixing an umbrella, the umbrella stem. In this case, the umbrella stem does not hold the center spokes once your umbrella is unfurled. So there's a problem in that section. And to fix that, we are going to use a masking tape. So go ahead and cut about 10 centimeters of masking tape. So we are going to use this to increase the thickness of the stem in that position so that your umbrella holds firm, holds in place when you open it. So go ahead and wrap it around that bottom part, making sure everything is tight and perfect. And then now we are going to try out whether this has worked. And surely when you push it out, it holds in place. So perfect so far. So far so good. The third method for umbrella repair is sewing. So you'll notice that your spokes are normally held with a thread onto the fabric, but sometimes it comes off, like you can see in the video. So in this case, you're going to take a needle and thread, and you're going to sew back those spokes onto the fabric. So just start by going through the fabric onto the spoke and round until you have achieved a good enough, a strong enough bond between the two, making sure not to tighten it too much. The fourth method is fixing the leaks. In this case, start by identifying where the leaks and where the holes are in your umbrella. And using a mark pen, you're going to go ahead and mark those areas. So we have the first part, the second hole, and the third hole. So once you've done that, in this case, we're going to use a double-sided tape. You can also use a duct tape if you have one. So we're only going to be using the sticky part, and we are not going to take off the tape, the paper that holds the other part, the other sticky part. So just go ahead and stick them onto the umbrella from the inside part. And my hope is that you learned something today about fixing your umbrella. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.